Lean, start off lean because you need that. You need to start off lean. Imagine you're paying, $120 a month, and then you have add-ons that you want to add on, and and you're like, how do I do that? Right? So keep things simple.
Hello, welcome to Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast, where I take you behind the scenes with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, moms, working professionals, and amazing people pursuing their passions and going for their dreams. And I'm your host, Linda Mendable.
Okay, next is the projects to help you achieve your goals. So you got your step one, that's one box. Your step two, that's another box. And then your step three, identify your biz structure. I love this one. This is when it gets fun. This is when it gets super, super fun because once you once you understand like what's going out, what you need to come in, how many people you already have, how many you need to onboard, and you understand your numbers to a T, business can get super fun and creative, and you can be super creative. And I want you to take it like that because then the pressure is kind of like off. You know how to, keep money within your bank that doesn't kind of like set some negative drafts, right? Sure, I've been there in my business in the beginning. Woo, we don't want to go there because it's just like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay, this has taken me a long time to get, right? And this is kind of like in the step three, it's taken me a long time to build this one out because there was so many conflicting like info. And then I had to really double down and kind of like carve my own way to make things happen. So this is like from personal experience. Okay. So with the identifying your biz structure, what you want to start doing is kind of like remember that next box underneath? What I want you to start thinking about is kind of like VIP, your courses, like the price of it. And this is where I want you to kind of understand about the best thing to do is keep things simple, right? And so I don't condone for a first-time person building out their business unless they have it within their budget, that's the investment that they want to make, but having an all-in-one platform. Because what if something happens and there's a season that you can't make that payment? I mean, because maybe because it'll dig into your own family or something like that, right? And you're in a pinch, right? And you gotta let it go, or you gotta let it go. Or, you know, you're seeing that you're 3 years in and you're like, where's the light? Right? I mean, and this is where the business structure comes in. And this is why I'm going to save you time because you really have to think about the longevity of your business and keeping things simple in the beginning. And then once you're at a higher monthly income, that things are kind of like fresh, okay, it makes sense for you to kind of, if you want to go into that all-in-one platform, to go ahead and do that to make things easier. Maybe you have a bigger team now, and the team is like, hey, we need to go here because it will make it easier for us if you go here in this all-in-one thing, and it just makes, work easier for us. That makes sense. So a lot of people kind of like push these all-in-one services. I'm not saying it's bad, like go for it. If you feel right, like go with your gut, right? For my gut, it wasn't a good thing because I know who I work with and I want to make simple systems that has very low startup costs, right? Monthly expenses, because right, it's an investment when you're first starting your business. It's an investment. And then as you're growing and scaling, right? And so you have to consider, so I like, okay, having a website. I like show it, you know why? You can have unlimited pages. And then you can also have subdomains that has, which it blows my mind. You can have subdomains within it, which is another website that you're not even paying for the subdomains. So, but I have like vip.monetizingmompreneurs.com, and that actually forwards you to my student login, right? But that's a subdomain. And so let's say I have lindamendable.com and I have bundles and summits.lindamendable.com, and that's a whole different website. So I can have different funnels that has my brand's name in it, so people know that it's coming from me, but has a subdomain on attached to it, and I don't pay extra for that. And you can do that also with WordPress. You can actually have for a multi-site option, and have it, a multi-site, I think, yeah, multi-site option with WordPress, and you can have subdomains. For WordPress, I don't recommend. That's why I love Showit, because it just keeps things a lot more simpler than WordPress. WordPress can get clunky, and it's not as fast. And then plugins and things can not work. Right now, I'm having a problem and an issue with a client site that they are scheduling things to publish and is not publishing on time. And we're now fixing that, for her. And that's in WordPress, right? But I like Showit because you can connect a WordPress and it's so fast. And I like Flowdesk as well because it's so fast. And so like a load time, seconds. And that's what you want, And so if you need a cart, right? Flowdesk now has checkouts. Boom. When you're first starting off your business and you want to keep certain prices, low, having Flowdesk and Showit is a lot less than having sometimes one of those all in one. So you got to consider kind of like those two things. Like the lower rate for Showit, I think is around $24 a month. And then the low rate for the checkouts, I think it's $39 for Flowdesk. I'm not too sure about that, but if it is 39, it's around $63 a month. You can have a running business. Start off lean because you need that. You need to start off lean. Imagine you're paying, $120 a month, and then you have add-ons that you want to add on, and you're like, how do I do that, right? So keep things simple. Now, I love Thrivecart because it's a one-time payment. Boom, you have a place that you have your courses. So, and also, if I was just starting out and I wanted to also facilitate that income, that's why I always believe that even if you're a service provider, have your courses and have a shop and have a kind of like a product suite and build out the community. And I'm telling you, it will work for your good. Let's just try it out. And if you do try it out, like email me and let me know if it made an impression on you. So just things to consider. So think about what you want to spend your business on, right? Like for the recording, you can actually like Loom, $10 a month for video hosting, unlimited. Like I was like, yes, why not? Keeping my costs low as possible to run my business so everything else can be bonus, right? Now that's your business structure. So how are you going to, do you want that recurring income stream? So one of the things I do recommend is kind of like figure out how you can keep your clients coming back in a sense, right? And so that recurring income stream could be tech support. And maybe you can give like, hey, after you worked with your client one-on-one, if you're in the tech, side of things, you can, provide that. Now, another one is, and you can offboard them because sometimes a client still needs help and support. And how can you build that? How can you still help them? And then if you don't know market research, they're like the clients that have invested in you, they want to see you win. They're the best people to get market research from. I remember I did an experiment and I asked two different types of people. I've asked a person that never bought from me. I asked like a community that never bought from me, a group of people that never bought from me. And I asked them, hey, what price is X, would you pay XYZ? They were liars. For lack of a better term. Basically, they just maybe said something nice that maybe you wanted to hear. But the people that I've asked on like, hey, what would you pay for XYZ? They were more realistic. They were more wanting to see me win and giving accurate numbers more so than the group that never purchased anything from me, right? So if you're going to gain my market research, when it comes to pricing, gain it from the people that have already invested in you because they're invested. And they truly want to see you win. They believe in you. They believe in what you're doing. That's why they've invested in you. They're the best people to ask questions to. I love asking them questions. They're so amazing. Love my community. If you invest in me, like you're the bomb.com. Okay, so once we have that out of the way, The next block that we're going to do is kind of like, it is that recurring income stream. Like, how can you take it into your business? Like, how can you have a recurring income stream? That doesn't mean that building out a membership. I'm talking about like, how can you bring out the recurring income stream model into your business to help you be more sustainable? And that could look like let's say you're a VA and you have a specialty and that people like I recommend going into a specialty. So if you're kind of like, well, you want to come into the VA, you want to create an online business as being a VA, decide what you like start general if you want, but also decide like where do you thrive? Is it organizations, building out systems? Is it email? Is it, design, like, doing a bit of social media, right? And decide where your specialty is. Now, when you understand your specialty and what you want to be a specialist in, what you can start doing is kind of like the people that you're offboarding. Let's say someone hired you as a VA to do their email templates, the email marketing, and that's what you're getting hired for as a VA. You can create a community that actually helps, like let's say someone just worked on a VIP project with you. You created like a whole nurture sequence with a launch sequence, with email in their brand voice, that really is authentic and you're great at that. And now you're offboarding them, right? And you say, and then you can either question them, do that market research, say, hey, I'm thinking about developing a monthly subscription with email templates that are sure to, like every month we drop, headliners on what will work on your emails. And we drop also kind of like some copy and how you can make it sound more like you. Would you be interested in that? It's going to be around XYZ, and then you can do that market research, or you maybe developed it already and then each month you have templates. You're not even in the community, but maybe they get an email from you and they're invited into a Facebook group. So, you can keep your hand on the pulse and you talk about, doing certain seasonal sales. Okay, we're about to have, Christmas come up in the next quarter. Here are the top performing, sales for, seasonal sales. And you get what I'm saying? Make it juicy. Like really go into what you want to do. And boom, that's how you can start building out your recurring income stream with your one-on-one clients first. And then you can get testimonials as well, right? And you can even launch it because you kind of like are doing the research and you're seeing what works and what doesn't, and you know that you're great within what you do. So that's another way that you can bring out a sustainable model that then that's why I say build that community so you can start transitioning into from that one-on-one into the one-to-many and still serve your one-to-one. And you can also raise your prices as you're doing that because maybe you need to raise your prices because you noticed in your industry that this particular price points that people show up more and they are excited more and they do the work. Because I think that's what's hard in the coaching world is finding those one-on-one clients that do the work. Because you can be an expert, and if the person has their own limitations on doing the work, it's really going to be hard for them to get those results. So I want you to consider also if you're like considering and working with a coach and you want to blame the coach for you not getting successful, I kind of want you to rethink and say, well, did you do the work? Did you do the work? Now, not saying that there aren't bad coaches out there. Shoot, there's bad service providers out there as well, right? But I want you to consider if you want to hire someone as your coach, like make sure that you want to work with them and that you're willing to do the work and you're willing to do what it takes to get the success that you want. Because I remember there was someone that said, success is going to take you twice as long and twice as much sacrifice. And I was like, man, that's as much as what you think is necessary. And I was like, man, sometimes we paint a pretty picture in our heads and we think that things are going to be really easier than what they really are. And then we find out in the midst of it, wow, there's so many factors to consider. And I want you to kind of like, while you're building out your business, I want you to know that there's highs and lows in life, just like, and there's highs and lows in business. And you have to decide, do you want this? Are you willing to do what it takes? Because building that structure may take you longer than what you planned. Because I know it has for me. But I'm taking you on this journey as I'm building this out because, like I said, like this is all questions that I get asked. And I'm just telling you from my experiences on what I wish I knew. So I wish I knew about setting up my monetary goals based on what comes out of the business as opposed to what I want within the business. Because once I set up what I need for to come in and achieve that, it's a lot easier to achieve like what I want. I know a lot of people say, well, set those big, bodacious goals first. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess that works for some people. For me, what works is chunks, getting comfortable. I know for me, that's also with me in sales. Like I need to believe 110% on what I'm selling, or I'm sorry, I can't sell this. And so I know the type of person I am, when it comes to building out the cash flow. I had to go through a lot of mental blocks. I read a lot of books on money, and I had to switch my perspective on how I was approaching my business when it came to money, especially if I was taking things seriously. I had to understand that there is a bottom dollar that I cannot go below. And that sometimes it's really okay to say bye if someone is like, no, that's, they can, or it's okay to let go. And they make it, and a lot of times they come back around and they're ready to invest. Maybe at first it's sticker shock for them, like, ooh, let me think about this and stuff like that. And when they're ready, they do come back. So don't think that you gotta like snatch that person right away because you're strapped for cash. But if you're building out your business and you understand your cash flow, it makes things a lot easier and you're not gonna be bullied out here, I guess, for lack of a better term. So monetary goals. And then adding out, right? What you want to take, what you want to take home, and start minimally and increase that and increase that. And then there's going to be a level that you get to that you can do those big audacious goals because you understand your person messaging, you're clear, you've done the market research, and then you can set big audacious goals because you have tried and true methods. See, there's a season for each area of your business. And some of us, and I know for me when I was a fresh web designer and I remember these like super big launches and I didn't understand what does that mean? Like, how? Because all they say, yeah, what would I say? A service pro or a course pro would come on and they're interviewing their client that made this big launch based on their methods and XYZ. And then you're like, how in the world? If you ever had that, right? And I'm telling you, it's because of different seasons. And so I believe in those, I believe that that those can happen and they can happen for you, but where are you right now? Do you understand who you're working with, what they want and what they need? And then have you pushed yourself in increasing those goals with the small, right? And making things happen and making your business a reality and making it sustainable first. Have you accomplished that? Have you accomplished that? That's what I would want to challenge you is like making it sustainable that you understand what you're doing day in and day out. You understand what you're doing quarter in and quarter out, understanding your high seasons, understanding your low seasons, and then talk to me about big audacious goals, right? Because then you're going to be a pro. Step two, realistic timelines. Okay. There's hustle season and there's chill seasons. There's that feast and the famine, right? We all know it. And so maybe there's a launch and you're in a hustle season. Maybe you're in one of your high income seasons, so you can coast a little bit more. But what are you doing in those seasons, right? How much time are you having free time? When are you scheduling your vacations? How does your schedule look when it comes to your kids? Do you have to maybe work on a weekend? Do you have to maybe stay up a little bit later than usual? And what are those days and what do they look like? For me, I actually developed a workbook to help me outline my projects, my timelines, and exactly what I'm doing each day to make the vision that I have a reality, right? But how can I do that without understanding my business structure? And that's step 3. I understand my business structure. I'm building out my product suite based off of what has sold, the questions and the comments that coming in from my audience, and my market research. What works, what doesn't, what lead magnets wow, have been wow that, I mean, and you start seeing that when you understand your marketing strategies, right? So understanding your business structure and how you want to work. You want to work once a month. You want to work one, because I love working one-on-one with clients. I do. And so currently in my season, I'm not seeing that going away anytime soon. And so I understand like where my time goes with that. And then what if I want to transition away from that? How does that look like? How does my schedule look like that? Am I doing more maybe interviews, right? Another podcast? Am I switching my marketing strategies to compensate for not having the one-on-one and doing other strategies that actually propel more course sales and stuff like that? So business structure, how you're structuring your business on building out that ecosystem. And that's really what it is, and then that recurring income stream, that's part of your business structure. And then those other boxes, what I want you to do is brain dump. Brain dump your ideas, brain dump your business structure, brain dump if you want to have online courses, what's going to be that course, how you're going to launch it. And if you're thinking about like, man, how do I launch a course? Get in my How to Launch a Challenge that will help you launch your course. Shoot, that's how I launched Monetizing Mompreneur Society. I had a 6-month cohort, I guess that's what I would call it. And it was amazing. And it was like my first ever launching that. And I was like, wow. And I've launched challenges before, and those brought me one-on-one clients. So you can have challenges that bring you one-on-one clients and also actually create you course sales. And it actually also tests your whole funnel. It tests out, do people want your product? Are people interested in what you're putting out there, your content strategy? Because a challenge will also give you kind of like a way to do your content strategy and all of that jazz. And then just refining. Then when you have your quarter, what went right in your quarter? What went wrong? What went right in your challenge and what went wrong? I want you to have everything written down. Make it plain. Make it plain. Write it down. I hope this episode was truly helps you. And I want you to understand this. This is from my experiences. So there's so much information out here, and I don't want you to think like my way is the only way or any of that. There's so many ways to build out your business, and this is what I'm challenging for you to do. Like, I want you to sit down and actually write it down. And I thought writing down was writing things down on a list. In list form, I need to get this done, and I need to get that done, and I need to get this done. But really, it wasn't about my task list. It was about my goals going alongside my projects, and then going alongside every quarter on what's going on and what's happening. And then really like doubling down on what I'm doing each day and breaking that down. And so if you're serious about getting to where you want to go to, and having something that's sustainable and building a sustainable model, I want you to consider thinking about things a little bit differently and thinking about what you're doing every single day to move the needle forward. And then deciding, like I said in the last episode, how much time do you really want to spend on this? When do you want to hustle? When do you want to pull back? When do you need to? And what needs to you need to strike out because it's not really making an impact for your life or for your business, what you need to get rid of and what you need to add on to make it sustainable, right? And there's so many other ways of monetizing, right? Affiliate sales, bundles and summits, right? And talked a lot about that quickest way. And that's what we go over in Monetizing Mompreneur Society. So yeah, and when I was building it out, I was like, man, really wanted to help moms in business. And I was like, man, what is the quickest route from 0 to 100? What is the quicker from 0 to 100, from 0 to to getting it started and collaborations and community. So get around people that are doing what you want to do and get around people that you can connect with that are complementary businesses, even businesses that look like you, because just because I'm a web designer doesn't mean I can't collaborate with another web designer, because we have two different styles, right? And so no one really is your competition out here. You're your own competition when you're an entrepreneur building a business. It's you against you. It's not you against the person that's super established, not you against the person that's starting out the same time that you're starting off. Because a lot of y'all, and I'm hearing it from my clients, are looking, oh, this person started the same time as I started and they're killing the game on XYZ and I'm still here in XYZ, right? Stop looking to your left and to your right and start looking down on the sheet of paper you just written, all right? Start looking down on what you're doing and how you're going to get to where you want in the lifestyle that you want to have. Because some people, yeah, they're killing it, but they're also slowly dying inside, right? And you don't know who they are, okay? Some people may have accomplished great things and like a huge launch, and they're stressed out the max. And maybe things are falling apart in their personal life. You don't know what's happening within that business owner in their life, but you do understand what you want and your goals and what you want for your life. So that's what I would recommend. Like, don't look at who so and so is, that wasn't a wish I knew, because for me, I grew up kind of like my parents kind of like helping me decide on what I wanted to do. And I really wanted to go into design. And I didn't. And so that really kind of like, when I decided to do entrepreneurship, it really kind of like set me on fire to do my own thing and have the confidence that I can make, like I've gotten certain skills and talents from God Almighty, and so I'm going to use them. And so what are your skills and talents that you can use to make your dreams and vision a reality, because you were born for such a time as this. Don't think it's coincidence that you're listening to this. Don't think that it's coincidence that you're landed here. It's not. Your life is not a coincidence. Your life is like amazing how aligned it is, but yet we are so oblivious to it. And when we need something, usually it comes around. And you have to have the faith that what you need will come. And one of my favorite prayers is, God, open the doors that I'm meant to walk through and close shut the doors that I'm not meant to walk through. Bring me the right people that I'm meant to connect with and take away the wrong people that I'm not meant to connect with. And things start switching. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. And things start just switching and moving. And so I really want you to consider that your life is divinely orchestrated, and have the faith that you are going to walk out the path that you're meant to walk out. And God will bring you the right opportunities and the right tools. Have the faith that you're meant to do what you're meant to do. And if you don't, ask for it. Ask God for it. Ask God to confirm your path, or guidance or wisdom. Ask God for wisdom. Man, Solomon, right? And so I hope this was helpful, and I can't wait to talk to you next week. And if you join Monetizing Mompreneur Society, I am there at 11 a.m. EST until June 2024, every week. And once past June, I'm there once a month, the first of the month, answering Q&As, or doing a training or anything like that once a month. And then we also have amazing, amazing community members that are hosting events, and they're also bringing in master classes. So I'm so glad that you're here. My goal is to help you also achieve your dreams and goals. And that's why we have Monetizing Mompreneur Society. And we have an opportunity for Monetizing Mompreneur Magazine, which will be a yearly magazine, and Monetizing Mompreneur Summit coming this September. So if you're interested in speaking or becoming a contributor, please email me at hello@lindamendable.com, and I will send you the information necessary and needed for you to come in and get plugged in. I'm Linda Mendable, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a chance, stop by the website at lindamendable.com and join us over at Monetizing Mompreneurs Facebook group. I just want to say again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.